They are making a difference on 938 Live.
The Singapore Proverbs Project is a collection of the unique general observations of the world as seen through the different worldviews of the different cultures in Singapore. The way, as a Kashmiri proverb reminds us, 11 people take 11 paths. Like a line of poetry or an unforgettable tweet, Proverbs have the lightning-fast ability to transmit a general observation of the world, a bit of advice, or sometimes just an attitude towards a situation. Co-founder of the Singapore Proverbs Project, Madanmohan Rao, tells me more.
If there are no fish, prawns are just as good. That's English proverb, a Hokkien proverb translated into English. So this means you must make the most of the situation. You may want something, but if you can't get something, look for something else which is similar, and that might be good enough for you.
I noticed that the books have a very, they live through social media, so you've managed to marry your social media background. Tell us a little bit about, how you've managed to sort of marry what looks like your love for language and your professional work.
Yeah, sure. My day job actually is consulting in new media, in digital media. So I look at two things. One is how consumers and citizens are using mobiles and social media. And the second is how employees in the company on their intranet are using social media, mobiles, etc. So there's a very good connection between Proverbs and social media. One is, a proverb is very short.
So it's a Twitter feed, right?
It's perfect
8 words.
for SMS and Twitter. In India, you can also get subscribed to it by SMS. So it fits into an SMS, it fits into a tweet. It's perfect. And this is the day and age of people finding micro-sharing. They see something nice and small, they share it with somebody else.
Yes.
So you keep retweeting, forwarding, all that stuff. So Proverbs are actually meant for social media. It's the best tool for social media for Proverbs to be shared with other people. So I'm finding a lot of people are retweeting Proverbs. People send me Proverbs through Twitter. A Kashmiri guy saw some of the Proverbs and said, hey, I haven't seen this proverb yet. He tweeted me through DM, one of the Proverbs from his collection. A woman said, I see only 5 Sindhi Proverbs in your book. Here's a book of Sindhi Proverbs, which my friend published 10 years ago in India. Please use this for your next book. I was at a party in India once, and a woman from a part of India called Coorg, C-O-O-R-G, said, hey, there are no Coorgi Proverbs at all in your book. Here's a book of Coorgi Proverbs published by some scholar 10 years ago. Please take some of these and put them in the next edition of your book. So all this is coming entirely through viral word of mouth, through social media, meetings, that kind of stuff. So social media lends itself very well to cultural preservation.
And yet there's something about a proverb that is timeless and it's been it's being seeded, so to speak, by these new media platforms. It's a nice irony, isn't it?
It is very well said. I think a lot of people think social media is killing language, is killing tradition, is blurring all the boundaries that used to be there. People are getting too multitasking kind of mode. They don't read books anymore. They don't read culture stuff anymore. But I disagree. I think if you're a good reader, you read everywhere. You'll read books, you'll read magazines, you'll read tweets, you'll read ebooks, you'll read everything. So I think social media works very well for preserving culture. And Singapore is one of the most wired cities on the planet. I think it's got the highest percentage of smartphone penetration in the world as a city. So it's perfect for a place like Singapore. So we do hope we can come up next year with the addition with animation for iPad apps and things of that sort. Because the market is right.
What would the animation look like?
It would have the proverb said in the original language and the way it should be. Proverbs are very poetic. The Proverbs I told you, I recited just now, rather flat, just in English. But the original ones in Tamil, Mandarin, Malay are said in a very poetic way. There's a certain
cadence,
there's a certain cadence to it. Absolutely right, yeah. So there's a way of saying it. So I want to get those people who've heard this being told to them from other contexts, from grandparents, from other elders, and hear how the proverb is actually said. Then you have the subtext in various languages, in traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, then the English spelling and the English interpretation. Along with that, maybe a lesson for children, how to use this proverb. What really does it mean? What does it mean to say, don't break your rice bowl? So there's literal meaning and there's an interpretation. So all of this is stuff that you can build into a pedagogic model.
Yes, so, I can see how this would be so useful for education, because I see the word peribahasa and I studied Malay in school, and I remember peribahasas was one of the most enjoyable parts of Malay language classes, because as you mentioned, it's so poetic, and there's something so relevant to all our lives with the proverbs. So I can see how a book of proverbs or animation, like you say, on an iPhone or an iPad would lead a lot of young people to a growing interest in the language.
Absolutely, yeah. And we think Singapore's got terrific diversity to offer. It's the best Asian melting pot that I've seen. It all my travels across Asia. It has a bit of all of Asia in it. And I think if Singapore loses this, it'll lose a very strong part of its foundation.
That's Madanmohan Rao telling me about the Singapore Proverbs Project. This has been They Are Making a Difference. I'm Michelle Martin.